Hey YouTube, it's actually Offset. What I have today is an experience from Norman's Rare Guitars. This is featuring a Fender Deluxe Cyclone 2. The experience with Norman's was entirely online, so we'll speak about both the guitar and the store. We'll get right into it. I was scrolling YouTube as I typically do. I'm definitely subscribed to Norman's Rare Guitars channel, and I saw the thumbnail of Michael Lemo playing the Fender Cyclone. I usually save those videos so that me and my husband can enjoy them together once the kids go to bed and kind of like really take the whole guitar of the day video in. What we like to do is watch those videos and then kind of guess like, okay, what do you think that guitar costs? What do you think that's worth? And then we'll go to Norman's site and check it out. So we watched the video and a lot of things were going at once that kind of reeled me in here. So we have this guitar that is not ultra rare, but it's definitely discontinued and they did not make them for a long time. I'm really into like punk, pop, surf kind of music. Especially for Fender guitars. This one kind of checked those boxes because it's a very surfy guitar, also reminiscent of some grunge days just because it kind of gives Kurt Cobain's preference in guitar vibes. Obviously a Nirvana fan, I think a lot of people are. It's almost cliche at this point to be, but I am. Lemo takes it out of the box in the back of the shop and then does a nice little demo, and he's playing, you know, he gives the nod to the grunge scene and Nirvana, and so he played an excellent rendition of a Nirvana song. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. We enjoyed the video so much. The guitar's in my head a little bit. I actually had a little bit of a budget for another thing to add to my gear and my collection, so that's also kind of going through the back of my mind. I guess I continued stalking the guitar because I remember finding it on Reverb as well. That's when I'm kind of researching the guitar a little bit more just to see the history of it. There's one available on Reverb. Now, there have been some reissues done. They have done some reissued Squire versions that are, you know, they kind of mimic this, but they're different as per the usual. But so I'm looking there. There's been several offers on the guitar. What kind of offers those were, I don't know, but I do know it was Sunday. I'm kind of itching to make an offer, but because it's Sunday, I know that Norman's is closed. They'll also be closed on Monday. I don't expect them to answer any of my questions about this guitar. If I want it, then I need to go ahead and get it. I went ahead and went for it. Like no negotiations, no back and forth. I researched, I would say for about an hour, like juggling some decisions, and ultimately decided to go ahead and get this guitar. That's kind of the history of me finding this guitar. What I want to do is do like a guitar reveal, and so, you know, just show it to you through all transparency. This was purchased back in April. I've totally unboxed it, and so I'm not gonna fake like a first impressions looking at it for the first time type thing. But what I will say is that I have chosen to only take this guitar out during certain times, and so maybe a dozen times a year I'll pull it out. Otherwise, it's in a case. My reveal will kind of include me seeing this guitar for the first time in a couple of weeks, and I've only played it a handful of times. You are getting some real initial owner impressions of being able to have this guitar. Okay, so here's the actual guitar. It comes with a Fender Deluxe gig bag, and so what's really cool is that the protective film is still here over the Fender logo, and the bag is in overall excellent condition. Getting this from Norm's, here we have Fender Cyclone notated on this tape here. What I did when I got the guitar was I opened like literally every pocket just digging for stuff that I might find. This is an extra set of strings that were in the front pocket here, so I'm just going to keep that as is. You have the original moisture pack here, the original Fender booklet, but the thing that like blew me away the most, like this might be one of my favorite things about the whole getup here, is the original Fender Cyclone 2 hang tag. I had no idea that that came with the guitar. It wasn't in the listing and it wasn't referenced in the video, so that just kind of completes the whole package if you ask me. Other stuff, I mean, it includes like essentially all the case candy that I'm aware of. You have the Fender sticker here, it's another hang tag, like literally everything. And it again was never mentioned, but all of the original hang tags. Here's another one about the limited warranty, the inspection tag. Just a really nice touch. I'm someone who loves case candy. I try to keep everything I get in the condition that I first got it in, and so I always keep boxes and packing and all included materials with everything. So this, it just sweetens the whole deal for me. There's a little hang tag on the gig bag, and it says Fender Cyclone 2 Daphne Blue. It's just kind of on this military style tag here. I thought that was cool. Like I said in my intro, I've already seen this thing, but I don't use it often because I like to keep it in the condition it's in. So me looking at this guitar is almost like a first impression, but definitely a new owner impression, if nothing else. Let's go ahead and open this and look at the guitar. So the original Cyclone came out in the year 2000, and it had a very short run. I want to say that that was even an American guitar. So it had a 1-year run until 2001, and then in 2002, these came out. This is about a 2003 or 2004 model. It's very reminiscent of the Jaguar. In fact, it has the American vintage Jaguar pickups in it. If you were to get a Squire reissue one of these, that would not have the American Jaguar pickup. The guitar sounds overall much heavier and deeper than I ever thought it would. A very good low end on it. I heavily encourage you to check out Michael Lemo's demo of it because he did some really good, like he put his touch on a Nirvana song, and you can really hear the low end of that. This is 24 3/4 scale length. You have these 3 pickups that we just talked about. One cool thing is that they're kind of at an angle, whereas on the Jaguar they were straight. Also, you see the selectors underneath there. That is where you can turn on each individual pickup or do any combination that you want. So overall, you'd get about 7 different combinations. Neck and middle, neck and bridge, all 3, pick 2. Very cool tonal options with that. And then you just have your volume and your tone knob. The color on this one is Daphne Blue. They also came in Candy Apple Red. I will say the Daphne Blue ages very nicely. At this point, it's almost like a surf green vibe that you're getting out of it. And again, that race stripe there. So coming to the back, I'll just give you that view. This headstock is reminiscent of like a 70s Strat style headstock. It has the Cyclone logo at the very end, which I thought was really, really cool. The whole body is like flawless. There's not a mark on this thing. There's no signs of like aging hardware even. And I have guitars from this era that I've kept in great shape. The screws are getting kind of rusty. There's none of that on it. So the very last thing I looked at was the frets. There's no fret wear on the thing. So it's almost like, how is this even real? Like it's in such good condition. Once I plugged it in, I immediately noticed this thing has some serious neck dive going on. If that's something that kind of gets under your skin and you would buy one of these to play it, keep that in mind. I know a lot of people don't prefer the placement of the pickup selectors just because they're right there where you're picking and where your hand may rest, and so you inadvertently hit those switches. I haven't found that to be the case with me, but one major thing that kind of annoys me when I'm playing the guitar is that the pickups, the way that they're situated, my picking hand always ends up hitting. I think it's this middle one here. So my hand kind of gets caught there, and then my pick will actually hit the pickups as well. As far as ergonomics or whatever, maybe not the best layout for things. That would be personal preference, but those pickups do get in my way. The switches not so much, so I don't really mind that at all. I don't mind the neck dive at all either. I sit down when I play, and so once I'm holding the guitar, it's not an issue. Let's just go ahead and plug this in and get some tones out of it, and we'll see what you think. I got it for the novelty, the rarity, accessibility as far as stuff that I could get that I thought was cool. But when I plugged it in, it had a significantly different sound. I'm used to a lot of Fender Strats. I have a Jag Stang. I have a couple of Gibsons, one Gibson, one Epiphone. I was thinking this would be more gimmicky, especially since it was discontinued, than it is useful as far as tones. It has a really good high end, but it also has that bite too. So I'm going to show you the tones to the best of my ability. Try to be nice in the comments. You don't have to be, but I'm not saying that I'm a virtuoso on this thing. The best playing that this thing ever saw was Michael Lemo playing it. Now the poor guitar has me as an owner, but I will take very good care of it. We're going to start in the neck position. Like I said, this thing has 7 different positions that you can do. I'll try to hit all of them. If I don't, apologies, but you'll get the overall vibe of the most common configurations at least. So here we'll just do the neck, and you can really hear the low end here. Now we'll do that same thing with the middle. And now to the bridge. Same thing. What I always do. Back to the middle. And to the bridge. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is do the neck middle together. The neck and the bridge. The middle and bridge, probably my favorite combo. And all three together. Here's some more with just the neck. Neck and middle. Middle and bridge. And again, the neck and the middle. We'll go with just the bridge. Versus the neck. When they're all in the off position, you get nothing. All of the pickups engaged. Neck and middle. Bridge. Taking that just to the neck. All three. Just the middle. Apologies for the nervous and poor playing, but I hope you got some tonal differences, and I covered most of the positions. I made sure I did a sample of each, but whether or not I want to use it in the video is another story. Okay, so thank you for taking a look at the guitar with me. I wanted to talk about the experience with Norman's, and so I bought the guitar, I believe it was a Sunday, and although they were off on Monday, I got a message from Brandon. I assume it was Brandon Soriano. Can't be 100%, but that's what I would assume. He was like, hey, thank you so much for the purchase. He said they might throw in a Norman's Rare Guitars t-shirt. He just needed my size. I would say that that communication was very prompt. They were supposed to be closed, but obviously still working behind the scenes. Don't expect that all the time, but I'm just saying that's what my experience was. We got the guitar and I was like sniffing that packaging out for the t-shirt and never saw the t-shirt. That's completely fine. I understand 100%, and I didn't buy this to get a t-shirt, so we're good. I'll probably buy a t-shirt if I ever get to visit the shop or on a whim one day. Anyway, what they did include, and I don't know if this was the previous owners or they included it. I want to think Norman's included it because the shirt wasn't there, but I did get a fresh pack of strings. included. The packaging was absolutely top notch. You can tell that they know how to pack a guitar. Obviously you would hope so, because I can't imagine, even with that good packaging, what kind of nightmares they've had people say that, you know, they've received guitars in whatever condition. Talk about really packing that thing well. It was. I'm all the way across the country from Norman's, and this thing's coming from California. So I want to say it took maybe 4 business days, not very long at all. It shipped, they updated the tracking. The thing that sticks out most to me, and a reason I will return again when I see something that I want and have that budget, they listed this thing in very good condition, as they list most of their guitars in. In my experience buying guitars online, especially used guitars, you always need to have in the back of your mind that it's going to be a little less nice than you think that the pictures look. That's to set yourself up to know what you're buying and not be disappointed when you see a little thing here, a little thing there, and it's like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. I've learned to do that. I can't promise you this will happen every time, but I would have listed this guitar in excellent or mint condition. And I'll tell you why, because I will sniff out flaws and they bother the crap out of me. So very careful when buying a used guitar, because I know that those little imperfections that I didn't do are gonna bother me. What I can say about Norman's is, in my experience, this one single experience, mint to excellent condition. There are barely any flaws. In fact, the one tiny flaw, we'll call it a crack, but just know if it's a crack, it's a very hairline, and it is where the neck pocket is. But otherwise, there's not a ding, there's not a piece of dust, there is nothing on this guitar. Like, one of the things I was worried about is one of the pictures, it looked like there might have been like a crack in the headstock. That's just wood grain. And so that was really the only thing out of photos that I saw. This thing is minty fresh. And that is why, like I said earlier in the video, I only pull it out a few times a year. They don't make them anymore. They're semi-hard to find. It became like something that I only want to play on special occasions. I have a few options in terms of guitars, and so this is fine to just kind of sit like it is. I think my boys will really enjoy this guitar one day, and so I want to keep it as good as the day that I got it from Norman's. Kudos to them, because they could have gone over the top and said, oh, the gig bag it comes with still has the little sticker on the front of it that wasn't even taken off. The gig bag doesn't have a scuff on it. The guitar doesn't have a scuff on it. The frets look like they've never been played. It looks like whoever owned this never played it. It comes with the hang tag. I never expected that. I wasn't told that through the listing or any photos. I'll be back to Norman's because I trust them now. When they say something's in very good condition, it's going to be at least in very good condition. And luckily in my experience, it was even better than that. Going back and watching that video of Limo playing this thing is just a trip now, because I'm like, dang, like I got that guitar. And no, it's not one of Norman's prized pieces or even remotely close to the upper end stuff, but it's cool. It's really cool. I'm super happy to have this guitar, and I will enjoy playing it for years to come. I do keep my eye out for these things to be listed just to see what's going on with them. That's been enjoyable because I am finding that they're more rare than I thought. 10 out of 10 to Norman's. Guitar is solid, and I just really appreciate you guys watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.